All right, yo, so real quick, I just want to make a really quick video and just talk about God has been really, really, really faithful in my life. And I think the more that I slow down and I see how active He has been in my life, I'm starting to grow more comfortable in understanding that God has already created a completed work in my life. I just had to partner with Him and walk these things out with Him. And so, something that I learned recently is that when God reveals things to us, things pertaining to our future and His will for our life, He's directly speaking to trauma through that revelation. And so, after learning that, I took a moment and I stopped and I really asked God and if there was any trauma attached to my vision when it comes to pursuing trading. And I realized that I still felt indebted to my stepfather, the man who raised me, the man who is, though he's a source of a lot of wisdom, was also the source of a lot of trauma and misconduct, especially when it comes to my identity. And I realized that because of how he raised me, because I wasn't allowed to do anything on my own behalf, everything that I had to do was in order to make sure that he was good and that he looked good and that I didn't make him upset. And I would sit there and I would think about his words, and I was reminded of moments where I wasn't allowed to sit on the couch, or when my mom and my sister and my stepfather would leave and would go eat somewhere or would just leave the house and I had to stay back. I wasn't even allowed to stay in the house. I would have to stay outside with our dog. And in moments like this, I found myself becoming more people pleaser centered, becoming what it is that I needed to be just to survive those moments, becoming what I needed to be just to fit in, to be liked, to be loved. And I realized when it came to me feeling like I, quote unquote, deserved what it was that I was doing or deserved this milestone, whether it was with trading, like anytime I got close, I would stumble over my own feet, or I would get ahead of myself, or I would get ahead of God at that. And I didn't understand why. I've been funded 3 times now with $600,000 in total funding. The first time I got funded, it was too much and I failed. The second time I got funded, I was doing well, but once again got ahead of myself and ended up reaching a world that I wasn't prepared and didn't know about. And here we are again in the same situation, like I talked about in a video or two ago, where I failed again because I was too prideful. I found myself being so overly confident in my own strategy that I failed to realize these market conditions are completely different, and the market conditions of which you utilize to build this strategy are not the current market conditions, and that's why your strategy is failing. I was so confident that my strategy works. My strategy works every single time that I failed to realize and see the fault in my stars, and it was inevitable that I would fail. And so in that moment where I was talking with God and God was revealing this to me and talking about trauma attached to vision, I realized like, oh, I still feel indebted. I still feel like I still feel like I don't deserve these things. And that sitting on the throne of my being along with the Lord is creating this conflict for my life. And so I had to take a moment to stop, to pause, and try to let that go, to try to be intentional, to heal from that. Like I said, this journey, this time where I'm talking about preparing for the new year, preparing to get a $400,000 account or whatever it's going to look like at the beginning of the year, but partnering with God. This doesn't just count back testing, studying. As we know, trading is 90% psychology, 80% psychology, and 10 to 20% skill, technicals, those things like that. Those things are easy. I can back test and do phenomenal as it is already. And yet it's the psychology, it's these little moments like this, these little things that seem so small and trivial that make the world of a difference. And so this is why I love my God so much. This is why He's put me in this position of transition, to leave my job and be in a position where I have to face, and go up against how it was defined what a man looked like for me growing up. The person that I had to become to survive, and what that man looked like is not the man I need to be anymore. There was a story I heard the other day where they took a homeless man and they allowed him to switch lives with a very wealthy man. And so they were giving him a tour of where he was going to be staying, this very, really, 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 really nice home, this really nice mansion, these nice cars, all these different things like that. And as they were giving him this tour, he was taking things and putting it in his pocket, putting it in his bag. He was stealing things that were already belonging to him, that were already given to him. And this is something that the Lord has already given to me. I am a successful, consistent, profitable day trader. This isn't a question. This is a part of his will. This is a completed work that the Lord has already spoken over me. And yet, I'm struggling to receive that because of my psychology, because of the trauma that I went through. And the Lord is so good that he's able to convict me of this and posture my mind and my heart to realize that and to take it and go through the process to heal through that. And so those are the things that I've been working on as of late. Like I said, with these videos, I want to be more honest and personal. And yes, I'm going to be talking about trading a lot and back testing and studying and doing all the things, but this is also trading too. This is also psychology, and this is my journey of becoming a successful day trader. So I appreciate y'all. Much love. And yeah, I think that's all I got for today.